After doing a lot of research on personal finance and watching multiple videos on how to reach financial freedom, I have learned a thing or two about finding the true markers of wealth. In this video, I want to share 6 eye-opening reasons why you might feel like you're constantly playing catch-up with your finances. We'll dive into the truth behind that feeling and, most importantly, how to turn it to your advantage. Let's get started. Number 1. You're comparing yourself to those who seem to be doing better. There are 2 types of comparisons we often make: upward comparisons, where we look at people who seem to have more money, a fancier car, or a more luxurious lifestyle, and downward comparisons, where we compare ourselves to those who appear less fortunate or successful. As humans, we naturally gravitate towards comparing upwards, and I do this too. But here's the thing, much of what we see when we look up is just an illusion. The financial picture that looks so enticing is often carefully curated. Many people use tools and structures to make their lives and finances appear far more impressive than they actually are. For example, let's say you and a friend each budget $600 a month for a car. You choose to buy a decent mid-range car on a 5-year finance plan. By the end of those 5 years, you will have paid off the car, and it's yours, valued at around $20,000. On the other hand, your friend leases a car for the same $600 a month. Their car looks much nicer, and for 36 months, they get to drive around a new, shiny car. But once the lease is up, they've spent $21,600 and have to return the car with nothing to show for it. The same concept applies to credit card debt. Many people fall into the debt revolver category, meaning they only make the minimum payments on their credit card balances each month. The debt keeps rolling over, creating a cycle that's hard to break. Debt can create a facade of wealth, making it easy to look at someone else's shiny new stuff and feel like they're ahead, but often it's just an illusion of them living beyond their means. The comparisons that really matter are with those who invest in their future. Look at people who put their money into personal growth, education, and skills. These investments might not be as flashy or visible, but they increase a person's future value and reduce their future obligations. It's a more grounded and fulfilling approach to personal finance. Number 2. You lack a clear sense of your own values. We tend to compare ourselves more when we lack a clear sense of our own values. While we're focusing on finances here, this concept applies to every area of life. If you're always fixated on what others have or what they're doing, you'll constantly feel like you're falling behind. When it comes to your finances, knowing what you stand for and forming your own perspective is incredibly important. If you don't align your spending with what truly makes you happy, you'll always feel like you're lagging behind. You might find joy in getting the latest upgrades or designer clothes, and that's perfectly fine. Or, like me, you might find more value in experiences like travel, investing in learning, or starting a business. Understanding your values is not merely an intellectual exercise but a profound journey of self-discovery and personal growth. It requires courage to confront your beliefs, clarity to discern what truly matters, and commitment to living authentically. By investing time and effort into understanding and affirming your values, you pave the way for a more purposeful, fulfilling, and harmonious life, one that reflects your true essence and aspirations. You might not have everything that your peers do, but you'll have what you genuinely value, and that's far more fulfilling. Number 3. You are not learning. This concept is my favorite on the list because transforming how I compare myself to others has been life-changing. Instead of letting the question, "Why does this person make more money?" bring me down, now ask, "How are they achieving this?" This shift turns envy into curiosity and growth. We often think others have it all figured out, especially when they seem wealthier or more successful, and it's easy to believe they're just lucky or have advantages we don't. This is something that comparison can only offer when viewed through the lens of learning and growth. The same applies to investing. When I talk about getting an 8% return, many people comment, "How do you get an 8% return? No bank is paying 8% interest at the moment." And they're right, no bank offers that rate. But I'm not talking about keeping money in a bank account. The S&P 500 has returned, on average, over 10% over the last 100 years. Across any 20-year holding period, the annual return has always been at least 4%, except during the worst market crash in history. In 79% of the time, the annual return was 8% or more, and in 59% of instances, the annual return was 10% or more. When you take the time to learn about what someone else is saying, understand where they're coming from, and how they're achieving their success, your perspective and growth trajectory completely change. Number 4. You're overlooking the sacrifices involved. Have you ever looked at someone else's success and thought, wow, they really have it all? I know I have. It's easy to see someone thriving and assume they've got everything perfectly sorted out. However, we often overlook the personal sacrifices they've made to get there or the ones they continue to make to keep it all together. We miss the late nights, the missed family moments, and the doubts they've had to overcome. Take spending habits as an example. You might see someone jetting off to an exotic location and wonder, how can they afford that? What you don't see are the sacrifices they're making elsewhere to afford that trip. Perhaps they live in a modest home, drive an older car, or skip buying new clothes because traveling brings them joy. When you get to know people better or look at their lives more holistically, you often realize that their sacrifices might not be ones you'd want to make. Understanding this helps you stop comparing your best moments to theirs because you recognize that their struggles might be very different from your own. Number 5. Prioritize collaboration over competition. When it feels like everyone around you is more successful or has more money, it's easy to fall into the trap of competition. However, collaboration can take you much further than competition ever will. Collaboration emphasizes the value of working together towards common goals. It is based on the premise that the collective intelligence and efforts of a group can produce superior results compared to isolated individual efforts. In the business world, companies like Google and Pixar emphasize collaborative cultures. Google's open office layout and project management style encourage employees to share ideas and work together, leading to groundbreaking innovations. Pixar's success in the film industry is also attributed to its collaborative environment, where team members from different disciplines work together closely throughout the production process. Many people are willing to let their guard down if you approach them with genuine interest and a collaborative spirit. It often just takes one person to break the ice and set aside ego and pride, and the other person usually responds similarly. By showing that you're not out to compete but to build something better together, you can achieve much more. Number 6. You haven't prioritized yourself in a while. When was the last time you truly examined your spending and asked yourself if it brings you happiness? It's easy to get caught up in tracking budgets and controlling expenses, especially if you've been watching personal finance videos and are dedicated to getting your finances in order. However, in the process, you might have forgotten to spend on the things that bring you joy. Part of the journey to financial stability is also about enjoying the fruits of your labor. When you make room for spending on what genuinely makes you happy, you start to appreciate your financial decisions more. By focusing on your own financial confidence and path, you won't have time to envy or compare yourself to others. So, this weekend, take a moment for yourself. Treat yourself to something that brings you happiness, whether it's a nice meal, indulging in a hobby you love, a small treat, or even thoughtfully tracking your expenses for the month. Let it be something that enriches your life. This way, you'll find more joy in your own journey and feel less need to compare yourself to others. Thank you for watching. If you found this useful, please share it with someone who might be feeling financially behind and needs a little reminder on how to let go of that feeling. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on notifications to catch all my future videos. See you next time.